What's up, guys? Welcome back to El Merengue Culé. It is finally time to kick off the start of La Liga for Real Madrid. Real quick, the lineups have just been released and we have seen how Odegaard is starting. And another key difference from the lineup that I predicted is Mendy is starting over Marcelo. So that'll be pretty interesting. I also see that Casemiro is not starting and instead it's Modric starting over him. So I'm not quite sure what Zidane is trying to do with this. Whether it's to control the game a little more, bring a little more technique to the game, and just kind of sacrifice potentially like a counterattack or something like that. It'll be interesting to see how the game goes on. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get onto the game, and we will be back to talk and discuss that first half. See you guys in a bit. Okay, guys, the first half is finished, and it is a final score of, well, not final score, but it is a score of 0-0. That leaves me with a bittersweet taste. Why with bittersweet taste? Okay. Madrid is playing well. Okay, I'm gonna go off the bat and say that. Definitely. I love the fact that they are controlling the game, which is exactly what one of my keys to this game was. I had two keys: control the game, and then the other one was finish your chances, be clinical. And only one of them has been met because the chances that we created. Of the few chances that we created, we were not clinical. The main one being minute 38. Real Sociedad goalkeeper loses the ball, passes it right to Vinicius. Vinicius finds Benzema, who was actually called offsides, but he wasn't actually offsides. And instead of Benzema finishing right away, which would have been the go-ahead goal, he tries to dribble around the goalie and doesn't end up scoring. So that was kind of unfortunate. It left me with a bittersweet taste. However, like I said, Real Madrid has been controlling the majority of the game, and that makes me feel, better about how it's going.
I would like to say the way Madrid is controlling the game is actually because of the absence of Casemiro. It allows Modric and Kroos to find higher positions and to be able to support Odegaard up top, allowing the team to kind of build up more rather than it be kind of like a counter-attacking style.
Right, definitely. And I think one of the big things that we noticed, or I feel like I specifically noticed, in a comparison from the Madrid in the past to this Madrid, and that could be due to the fact that, yes, Modric is combining with Odegaard, but rather maybe also with like Zidane's tactics is how many numbers they're having in the attack. Yeah. I feel like one of the key things that Real Madrid had in the past, not key, but one of the things I didn't like is that they did not attack with enough numbers. We would win the ball back, or we would have the ball, and you would look up, and it was like a solitary Benzema up top with the wingers kind of like near the center mids, and he looked so alone, and he looked like he couldn't really create too much chaos by him just being so solitary up there. But in comparison, in today, and I hope it's a trend that continues throughout the season, Zinedine Zidane is having Real Madrid press a lot higher, and the moment that they win the ball, you look up and you have 4 or 5 players already up there. And that is being facilitated by the fact that you mentioned earlier, which was the outside backs. The moment the center mids have the ball, both outside backs are pushing up a lot, and rather than overlapping the wingers, they're getting more central, right? And now while that may leave us susceptible to counterattacks, it's allowing us to create at least better opportunities in the offense.
So overall, Madrid is attacking well with a lot of numbers. At times it does get a little bit cluttered, a little bit stale in the attack. But two players that haven't really convinced me much is Vinicius and Rodrigo. They're great at taking on a man, they're great at beating a man, but when it comes down to finishing, when it comes down to changing the scoreboard, they haven't done enough.
It seems like maybe they're doing a little too much. They're probably getting a little bit excited when it comes to that final third. And also, I agree. I agree with the fact that Vinicius and Rodrigo haven't really brought too much to the game. But also, Real Sociedad is playing a game unlike what I expected, which was I expected more of a high-pressing game that would give us more space in the back, which would allow space for Vinicius and Rodrigo to take into. And rather, they're playing more defensively and forcing us to attack them. And I don't want to say they're parking the buses. I don't think that's exactly what they're doing. But they're definitely just playing more defensive and looking for counters. So that may be a reason why Vinicius and Rodrigo are not really having the most of attacks. Before signing off for this first half and going in to watch the second half, I do want to mention that my man of the match so far is actually a man that has touched the ball probably once or twice. And who's that?
Courtois.
Thibout Courtois. My goodness, minute 42, 3 minutes before the halftime whistle was blown. Real Sociedad gets their one and only shot of the game. Basically a one-on-one, great ball from Oyarzabal to find Isak, the man that I mentioned was the man to watch for Real Sociedad. He bends it perfectly, but Courtois did an amazing job at closing down that space, coming out of his goal line quickly, and basically getting that save that could have changed the game completely going into the second half. So that is a crucial moment. Hopefully Real Madrid can take this moment from Thibout Courtois and capitalize on one of their opportunities.
So that ended the half well. The last 5 minutes,
They
had
grow
more
confidence.
chances. I hope that's how they start the half.
Oh, I hope not. But anyways, guys, we will see you after the final whistle. Okay, guys, we are back from the second half. Pretty unfortunate. Real Madrid ends up tying their first game 0-0 in a game that I felt went from here. They basically went from having more and just kind of went downhill from there. Leaves me with a pretty bitter taste from the second half.
Yeah.
I feel like this first half I was a lot more excited with the way the things went. But the second half, I get the sensation that it was a Madrid that looked out of options, out of answers. Now, a big part of that is I very much feel like somewhere around minute 65, that's when I started to feel like Madrid was struggling. Mm-hmm. And I was mentioning to you how the game went from Madrid having control to more of an open game. It started to be a more back and forth game. Sociedad attacking, Real Madrid attacking back, but no teams were getting really good chances.
Sociedad had a really close chance in right off the get-go. They did a few combination plays and then they shot it across. But apart from that, there was not much.
Yeah, that was probably the closest chance of the whole half. I would say Real Madrid had absolutely zero chances that could have potentially gone in that whole second half, which was pretty frustrating. And so, like I was saying, I look back, minute 65, I'm like, Zidane needs to make some changes now. He can't fall into the groove of just trying to fully trust in that team. He needed to make some changes. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I look at the bench to see who we had to bring on, and there's absolutely no one. And I know this is obviously big because we have a lot of injuries going on. So I look at the bench and I'm like, we need something to change in the attack. Vinicius looks out of it. Rodrigo looks out of it. Benzema looks like the only guy that was potentially doing something, but he can't do it all.
He didn't look sharp either. In the first half, he did have the one chance that we talked about where he tried to go around the goalkeeper and missed. And then he also had another chance that he slipped, his right foot got in the way of his left foot. And it was a clear opportunity if he just gets a
had he gotten a good connection with the ball. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and overall, I think that's one of the big problems for Madrid this game. It looked like it was a preseason game. It looked like they weren't fully calibrated, fully ready to go, and so it was just more of like them getting ready for the season. And this is the problem. Like I think Real Madrid did a bad job in planning the preseason. And I know one of their games got canceled because of the other team got some COVID cases, so they had to cancel the game. But regardless, 2 preseason games isn't enough for me, in my opinion. I think it should have been at least 3. But so that was a problem. And so like I was saying, like I look back at the bench and I see Hazard is missing, Asensio is missing, Lucas Vazquez is missing. There's just Isco is missing. Yeah, exactly. That's 4 of our attackers right there. And the only attacker that we could potentially brought in, Luka Jovic. Where's Luka Jovic? Still sitting on the bench right now. Yeah. And it's pretty sad, and I feel like maybe he's not bringing him in because the rumors of him leaving are potentially actually true. Mm-hmm. So that leaves us with absolutely no changes to bring for the offense. And so what do we have to end up doing? We brought in 2 youngsters that haven't even played for Real Madrid Castilla yet. And I both like 18 years old, who are not bad players, but they're just not ready for this. They're not ready to win you a game like this. And so it definitely looked like those dying minutes. No clear chances were created. No. It never felt like Real Madrid was really going to score. And I think at times I even felt like Real Sociedad would come closer to scoring than Real Madrid would.
Personally, from the minutes that Odegaard played the first half and a little bit in the second half, I personally don't think he created enough for Real Madrid. As being that attacking mid, he has a responsibility of connecting the midfield to the attack. And I felt like he didn't provide enough clear goal-scoring opportunities.
So I agree in the sense that, yes, we ended up tying the game 0-0, and obviously there was something wrong in the offense. I can't go out here and say, oh, Real Madrid did a great job offensively when we didn't score a single goal. So it's hard for me to praise Odegaard. However, I think out of all the players that played today, at least in the offensive half, him and Benzema were the standout ones. I felt like he was doing a good job on quick transitions, quick passing. He wasn't slow on the ball. He was moving around, like I saw his heat map, and he was everywhere where he should have been. Yeah. So I feel like he was everywhere. He was everywhere that he needed to be. I can't recall a single time where he gave up the ball. I'm gonna have to look at the stats. So I don't feel like he gave away any possessions. Yes, he may have not created the best of chances, but that's also kind of revolved around how good off the ball movement is the team making around him. So he can't do everything, and I felt like what he could have done, what was in his control, he did properly. And this was his debut, and I feel like he didn't even look like a new player to the team. Like he looked like he already had chemistry. He had already been integrated with the team. So in my opinion, that's a win. In my eyes. I think overall, I would say man of the match still ends up being Thibout Courtois.
That save came massive.
Yeah, without that save, obviously we
Got
lose
point.
the game 1-0.
Got
It never looked like we were going to score a goal, honestly, like at least especially in the second half. Like I said, my key to the games were 1, control the game, which I think we did the first half, but 2, be clinical. And we did not. We were not clinical. We created 2 solid chances, especially one, which was the Benzema whenever he ran around the goalkeeper and just kind of messed up. That was the chance that he had to finish. He had an easy shot. Rather, he insisted to run around the goalkeeper, and I think that would have been the 1-0, and we could have potentially defended that lead to seal the 3 points.
Marvin had one opportunity. He tried to go around the player. I think it was Vinicius crossed it to him. He tried to go around the player. He should have just shot it. Could have gotten a goal.
True.
Again, maybe lack of experience.
True. Yeah, exactly. The one positive I can take out of this game is we seem to be defensively solid, kind of continuing from where we left off last season. You know, yet another clean sheet to go under Courtois, which is a good. It's hard to find positives right now, so you know, not the greatest of starts I would have wanted to La Liga. Obviously, 1 point out of 2 points dropped. Obviously, you're going to be happy, but Barcelona is playing Villarreal on Wednesday, and that's a very tough game. Villarreal currently sits number 1 place in La Liga, so I don't think it's going to be an easy win for Barcelona.
No.
We'll see how that goes. Before signing off, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Ankit Kundu. Why? Nope, he did not predict the score for the game, but he predicted that Real Madrid will be selling Reguilon for 30 million and getting him with a buyback clause of, he said 35 million, but it ended up being 40 million. But still, I remember whenever he commented that, I told him if that came true, I would give him a shout out. And I mean, it was pretty damn close. So, great prediction you had, mate. With that being said, guys, let us know what you thought of the game. Let us know what you thought of all the guys' game in specific. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit the like button down below. Go check out our preseason game for this match, and also stay on the lookout for Barcelona's preseason match video against Villarreal. With that being said, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. We will see you next video, and for now, peace out.